What's going on, everyone? My name is Tenebris Infinite, and welcome back to Generation Zero. With Phoenix Rising having one of the biggest map overhauls we've seen so far, Generation Zero's map is now filled with tons of interesting and unique locations to explore, plunder, and fight in. So I thought it would be fun to go over some of the top new locations in the Farmlands with my good buddy Wired Gaming.
Hey guys, what's going on? So I am here with Tenebris Infinite today, and we are going over our favourite locations in the Farmlands since the Phoenix Rising DLC revamp. There's some funky locations out there. I can't wait to get into it with you guys. Thanks for having me, man.
No problem, my dude. Glad to have you here. Also, if any of you are wondering what the top new locations of the Southern Coast are, me and Wired whipped together another top 5 list over on his channel. You can go check out now or after this video. The link to that will be in the description section and in the comments down below. Now, let's get right into this list with location number 5. The first place we're hitting up today is the Forsteborg Junkyard. You first visit this spot in the main mission test run, where you were tasked to grab a snowplow off of a tractor and encounter your first data center, kicking off the more full-scale moments of Phoenix Rising. Forsteborg Junkyard is a great location because it enhances the scenery and area surrounding Forsteborg Cave, which before Phoenix Rising was an entirely unremarkable location. But now, with the junkyard, this part of the southern farmlands has been greatly improved. Spots like junkyards and things like it do a ton for making a world believable in video games. And with GZ's previous overhauls on the archipelago and now the mainland, it has taken some pretty awesome strides towards making the believable worldscape happen. Forsteborg is rather light on loot and machine spawns. And outside of what it does world building wise, it isn't super important. But in terms of making GZ's world seem to be a living and breathing thing, I think that Forsteborg goes a really long way in making that happen.
Here is one of my locations in the Farmlands, and it is the Trenches. Definitely one of my most favourite places. It's one of the first locations that you come into on the DLC. And I think because of that, a lot of people pass it up and keep going through the missions, which definitely don't. Come back, check it out, spend a good amount of time here. You could spend a hell of a long time just literally taking in the things that are here and looting. There's so much loot here, there's so much to look at. It really is an awesome place, and it spans quite largely across the Farmlands. It's a big old place. It's just so cool. It's war-torn. Let's go and have a deeper look. The first thing you notice about it is the roadblock and the sirens. And coming here at night, it looks quite cool and freaky, which is really nice. I like the fact that they've added some darker tones to the game, which is definitely an awesome little thing that I'm hoping they continue. I mean, just look at the destruction that's around here. There's tanks everywhere. There's runners. There's hunters. All the machines are here. I mean, even obviously the soldiers, they've all obviously taken a bit of a beating, which is that's not good, you know. I love that the machines are still sparking and there's still just proper remnants, like it didn't happen too long ago. And there's even little like tunnels which lead under the road just down there. And the trenches even have their own little FOB, which is really cool. It looks like the trucks are there bringing in the supplies for the last stand. Take rid of that guy out. And the trucks have got a load of loot in them as well, which is wicked. Obviously the trench, it continues just here. So we started here, and it comes all the way around here. Like a last stand, and they were trying to stop the machines actually getting into that lower region. Just before the end come. And see, another cool little sort of freaky feature is all the shovels, the sandbags, and the soldiers. So these guys were shot whilst building these trenches, which is you know, that's a scary old thought. These machines are ruthless. I think they just shot on site regardless of what they were doing. And you've even got the little tents that you can go check out. You can get inside these, Just make sure you crouch. You can go inside and there's loot in those as well. And then a little bit further up there, there's a campsite. So you've got the campsite up here, which sort of barracks area where there looks like the soldiers were sleeping, and see, they didn't make it too far out of their beds. And it also looks like a sort of checkpoint. So whoever's coming in or out from here, this is obviously the last way in or out. Once you've come through here, that's it. There's no returning. And you've got these red barrels everywhere as well. You can find a lot of these dotted out in the field, which is really cool, because if you get a bunch of machines coming at you, boom, just take out those things, which is really cool. You plant a load of landmines in there, get a tank coming at you. I think that would definitely make for some awesome fighting and some wicked gameplay. And you come here at this time of day as well, when the sun's just setting. I think it looks a lot prettier. In the day, it's daylight, you know, it's the same old thing. But yeah, it's much prettier in the day, in sort of dusk. So let's check out the next location.
Now for location number 3, Asseh. Asseh is another one of those locations that has undergone such a massive change since the facelift. What was originally a typical town you'd just fly by is now a barren war zone set in the middle of a destroyed city. Asseh has also become one of the best overworld early game loot locations, even topping the bunkers you encounter up till that point. Based on the set pieces, you can tell that Asseh was the staging of a huge resistance fight. And not only was it the resistance fighting it out with the machines here, but the military as well. You don't get many set pieces of the military and resistance fighters working together around the map. But Asseh is clear proof that the resistance and military were working together either after D-Day or during it. Asseh is home to some great, unique set pieces as well. Small parkour sections, and one of my favorite set pieces that really tells a story. The car crashed into the house. You can get such a clear picture of this happening when you see it for the first time. The person was likely trying to evacuate in their car when they saw the runner and just floored it into the runner, crashing their car and likely burning the house down in the process. Asseh is full of excellent little scenes, tons of loot, and is definitely worth your time now to stop and take a second to explore.
So next up is another one of my personal favourites, and that is the tank graveyard. This is in the farmlands just above the ring fort, and as you can see from behind me, it's just a barren area that has been completely destroyed by both tanks, machines and human tanks. And well, as you can see, all the trees have been blown up, there's craters everywhere, there's smoke, there's dead machines, dead tanks. It just looks war-torn, and this was where they made the stand before the last stand. Just before they ran out of tanks and it all went completely wrong. And it just looks awesome. I can imagine it out of something out of a film. Same with the trenches. It's just epic. I love it. Let's go take a closer look. So as the sun's setting, it just starts to look a lot cooler, because all the lights start to come through the smoke, which I think is just a really awesome little feature. Obviously all these tanks are still on fire. They've got all the armor plate in. They're just burnt to an absolute crisp. And then the further in you get, it looks like the battle got more intense. I mean, there's one poor dude there that decided to get out of his tank. That was a bad idea, mate. You should have stayed in. And the first thing that really stuck out for me was this bit. The tank on a tank. I mean, they could have some very strange children, but a tank on a tank, it just looks cool. I love it how they're still sparking and stuff as well. Like, it didn't happen very long ago at all, which is really cool. It's like no time has passed. I do love it. It's epic. And then the further up you get, there's more dead machines. Just dead tanks everywhere. I mean, obviously, it took a lot of normal tanks to take out the machines, though. What you got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. And I think there's 4. Yeah. No, 5 tanks. I suppose the odds were not too bad. That guy there I destroyed. I mean, you can normally get quite a few tanks in this area, so if you get them here as well and destroy them dotted around, that would look really cool. I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like at night. And this is a nighttime. It's slightly foggy. It just looks really creepy and eerie. And I love it. The lightning in the background as well makes it look really cool. It's just an awesome location to check out. You definitely hit it up. Have a look. Destroy some tanks. There's normally a tanky boy roaming around, but he's obviously not here today. He don't want to play. So, let's check out the next location.
So, for the number one spot, a lot of you dudes probably called this, but we're here at the Ring Fort. Hands down, in my opinion, the best location in pretty much all of Generation Zero so far, simply for what it offers the player and how it reflects on what the game will expand to in the future. This is the housing of the mainland resistance, and where you spend most of your time throughout Phoenix Rising. It's also the first prime example of base building and the team's ambitious future ideals in that regard. The Ring Fort sees you building up defenses, supplying the resistance fighters, and eventually even taking back from the machine's resources that are better served for the resistance. The Ring Fort eventually serves as the housing for the NPCs that come on board during Phoenix Rising, with one of which being an incredibly notable character we will be discussing very soon on my channel here. The Ring Fort itself serves as a teaser for how awesome base building can be in GZ, with us going out into the world to collect supplies to build up defenses and fortifications, from walls to ammo dumps, lookout towers and material caches, also supplying and enforcing resistance members with apparel set up with clothing schematics to give the resistance fighters a boost. Though still in its early iterative state here in GZ, these windows into what base building might potentially look like are insanely exciting. Alongside that, if any of you dudes have been around for a while on my channel, you know ya boys all about those cave systems. And the Ring Fort holds one of the most established cave bases in the entire game, even topping Himfel's Berg's Forgotten Caves. All in all, the Ring Fort is a prime example of future designs, holds some of the best missions so far, and introduces characters that will create absolute tidal waves in GZ's plot, and is cozy as heck in the process. So there you dudes go, mine and Wired's top 5 locations in the farmlands as of Phoenix Rising. Hopefully some of these locations are some of your dudes' top picks for prime locations after Phoenix Rising's facelift across the 2 regions. And as I said at the beginning of the video, Wired and I both did a top locations video for the southern coast, so definitely go check that out now if you haven't checked it out so far. You can find links to that down in the description and in the comment section. And while you're there, if you haven't yet, maybe consider dropping a subscription over to Wired Gaming. The dude is an absolute legend in the community and has been busting his ass off just as long as I have here on Generation Zero. YouTube can be really harsh on us Generation Zero content creators, so any and all support is greatly appreciated, my dudes. But thank you so much for watching. If there's any locations that you maybe think of that we didn't talk about here, throw them in the comments down below. But again, thank you so much for watching. You dudes are the best, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Until then, peace.